Hello again. I am IronBlunty.
And this is my review of Iron Man 2, the imaginatively named sequel to Iron Man. Now, Iron Man 2 is a fun ride, there's no doubt about that, but there's no real heart, and the pace felt a lot slower than the truly wonderful adventure that was the first movie. There was no real clever use of metaphors as there was in the original, at least none that were immediately apparent to me. The movie plays out fairly straight up and down. There's no fun twist, no real exploration or significant growth of any character. They all kind of appear on screen and do the things they do completely within expectations. As in the first film, there is, especially between Tony Stark and Pepper Potts, a very fun energy and an entertainingly clumsy rhythm and charismatic rapport in the dialogue scenes. Iron Man 2 is probably funnier than the first one too, with some very clever comedic moments, and with the exception of one, all the characters are an absolute joy to watch. Robert Downey Jr. is as charismatically charming as ever in the lead role. Gwyneth Paltrow as Pepper Potts is enjoyable. Mickey Rourke as the revenge-driven Ivan Ranko does what Rourke does best and disappears completely into his character. But Sam Rockwell, who plays a corporate rival to Tony Stark, Justin Hammer, is almost intolerable in every single second he's on screen. The character is supposed to be unlikable, so I'll give you that. But Sam Rockwell himself is just awful in this role. Every syllable ham-fistedly delivered by this man irritated me beyond reason, and every single moment he was on screen pulled me right out of the movie, utterly shattering the suspension of disbelief that is essential to maintain in a movie like this to be able to enjoy it. The casting of Sam Rockwell is this movie's biggest flaw. There is no doubt about that. You are acutely aware that you're watching an actor, not a character, and an actor doing a very bad job at that. And I enjoyed Sam in Galaxy Quest and even in Charlie's Angels. I know he's not a bad actor, he's just completely awful in this movie, and it just about ruined the experience for me.
Just so we're clear here, Sam Rockwell's character is the Jar Jar Binks of this film.
On the whole, I think the movie lacks any real heart. It's a fun ride to be sure, but it's just a shadow of what the first movie delivered, and I'm afraid the dreaded but all too common Hollywood sequel-itis has definitely infected the production of Iron Man 2. So do I recommend going to see this movie? Yes, absolutely. It is a fun movie. It is very well made. It is very funny in places. And with the exception of Sam, as I mentioned earlier, the performances are terrific. The effects are great. The action scenes are fun, but not quite as big as I was expecting them or hoping for them to be. But it is still a movie worth seeing. It's just that if you love the first movie as much as I do, you'd probably be wise to lower your expectations a bit, because this is not as good as the first one, but it's still a pretty fun movie. And look, I realise this review has been a bit harsh in places, and I'm normally the kind of reviewer that looks for
The best in things, but quite honestly, I was disappointed by this movie because it wasn't as good as the first one, and I loved the first one so much. So I went in with my expectations far too high, quite honestly, and I expected more from the film than sequels usually deliver, so it's kind of my fault. But looking at it objectively, it is a really fun movie. It is, on the whole, well made and enjoyable and a fun ride. And like I said before, it is quite a bit funnier than the first one too, which I quite enjoyed. And Robert Downey Jr. never fails to entertain on screen. And yeah, with the exception of Sam, it's a good movie. It's an enjoyable, fun ride. Alright, so that's me done. Jarvis, shut it down.
As you wish. Test complete. Preparing to power down and begin diagnostics.